And first of all, thank you so much, Consul-General, for your time. What's your impression of Chongqing so far? How do you think the city is different from 10 years ago when you first visited?
It's changed a lot within that time, and actually it changed in the year I've been here as well. It's changed. I think it's one of its aims is to become a more internationalized city, and that doesn't mean lots of more foreigners living here, but just to have a more of an international feel about it, and that is happening every day actually. We all know Chongqing's famous for the mountains and rivers and bridges and tunnels, and they're a really important part of the city. But beyond that, there's things that are changing it all of the time in terms of a livable place to be. Just recently, there's the Shibati development has opened up, the Raffles City development and Tianmen. I know some people are not so sure about that in terms of the impact on the city, but these are really high-class international developments, and they will help to enhance Chongqing's reputation as an internationally minded city, I think.
And looking back from 2002 to 2017, we know actually Chongqing remained a two-digit GDP growth. So in your observation, how has the city been developing so fast?
It's the region, the whole that region. I think within the southwest region, I would describe the southwest, but what's really significant from a development point of view is the Sichuan Basin, Sichuan Pendi, because it's not just Chongqing, but it's Chengdu as well, and everything in between. Because that region is historically it's quite benign. It's it's a comfortable place to live, and that just gives more economic opportunity. And add to that, Chongqing has some very important geographical advantage that it's on the Yangtze River, and that remains an important trade conduit. With the Yangtze Economic Belt Corridor is very important. The relatively new land-sea corridor from Chongqing to Southeast Asia to Singapore, that's growing in importance. And then, of course, there's the railway to Europe as well. So those three things, those three transport corridors, Chongqing's at the heart of that. And add to that the development in the last 20 years within China has been at a faster pace on the East Coast. That's a fact, I think, just in terms of the access of the East Coast to international trade. There's a lot more potential in this area. So I think that explains in a simple way why double-digit growth is being able to be sustained in this region.
Data shows that by the end of 2020, 296 companies on Fortune Global 500 had offices in Chongqing. So in your understanding, why these foreign companies chose to operate here?
Well, it's a double-digit growth, right? I mean, it's that potential. And it's a potential that's being realized, and the commitment that the central government is making to the region with the Chengdu-Chongqing Economic Circle. These are long-term economic policies that will give businesses some confidence that their investment and their commitment to the region can be profitable for them. And so how local government and local businesses engage with foreign companies is very important, not just now, but for the next 20 years, because I think that is a key part of the success criteria for Chongqing.
Would you encourage more UK companies to come here and invest?
I would, and I think it's on a number of levels. As I say, those big national policies of the growth that will occur in this region is important. I think as well it is, I wouldn't say less competitive than the East Coast. It's not less competitive. The competition exists, but it's less crowded perhaps for foreign businesses. So there's more room for foreign businesses to grow. Of course, the period that we're in at the moment is constraining some of that motivation and some of that activity because of the pandemic and the difficulties of travelling. And I know from my own experiences of being here in China, pre-pandemic, that is having an impact, unfortunately, on foreign business activity. And I think the sooner we can get back to normal travel, then the better for everybody.
China overtook Germany as UK's top import market, and many are saying that the Chongqing-Xinjiang Europe International Railway, also known as the Yuxinghou Railway, has played an important factor in bilateral trade between China and UK. So what do you think of its importance, and how can the Yuxing Railway further deepening trade ties between two economies?
I think the UK-China trade continues to grow, and you're right that the importance of China as an export market for the UK has grown, and that's not surprising. China is a huge market. UK economy relies a huge amount on international trade, so it's very simple progression to expect UK exports to China to grow, and I hope they continue to grow, and I hope the market remains open and welcoming to UK businesses. I think the railway, the European railway from Chongqing to Europe, is important. It's still I would say in its infancy. It's still, it's growing every year. The growth of it percentage-wise is phenomenal. But I think there's still a lot of development still to come in that area for not only how the railway operates, but also how businesses choose to use that infrastructure. So it's important, but as well as that, as I said, the new Land Sea Corridor, I think that will be hugely important. It's, I think it's, well, I visited there recently, and I was told competitively compared to bringing goods into Shanghai, it's quicker and faster. So I'm be keen for UK businesses to use that route into southwest China as well. So the overall picture, it's not surprising that UK exports are growing to China, and there are just an increasing number of ways to efficiently get those goods into the country.
Just recently, UK's new International Trade Secretary, Anne-Marie Trevelyan, and she said China is welcome to carry on investing in non-strategic parts of the UK economy. What does she mean by non-strategic parts?
China is welcome, and China's put a lot of investment into the UK over the last 10, 15 years or so. And that remains, the UK policy is to welcome not just Chinese investment, but to international investment. But as with most, I think all actually, developed countries, including China, we have policies in some areas where there are areas of the economy where there is a national security issue, where there's a critical infrastructure. And in those areas, in those most sensitive areas, we would be looking more carefully at any foreign investment, not only from China, as to whether that is in our longer-term interests. It's actually a very, very small part of the investment economy, a very small part. The more sensitive areas of the economy from an investment are very, very small in proportion to what the opportunities are available. So the overriding message is the UK is open to investment from foreign investors, including China. But of course there are some areas of the economy, as you would expect in China or anywhere else, where they are more sensitive and more critical to our national security. But that aside, Chinese investment is very, very welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Ellison.
Thank you.